We are here on the cusp, on the edge of James Gunn's Superman. Will it fly or will it flop? That's a question I've been asking, and that's not exactly what we're going to talk about here. What we're going to talk about is the fact that from start to finish, James Gunn has been the worst advocate for this movie. And I'm going to put forward to you now that in the past 48 hours, since July 5th, roaming now ever closer to the official release starting tomorrow with the special Amazon premieres, James Gunn knows that he has a problem on his hands. He knows this movie is in trouble. All you have to do is go and look at what he's been saying lately. Yesterday, I brought this one up yesterday. We touched on it briefly in our prediction discussion. We're going to come back to it today because it has now gotten bigger when you got deeper into the story. When he said, basically, I'm making this political. It's a story of America. It's about an immigrant. It's about kindness. And then he goes and says, it's about kindness, but if you don't like it, go F yourself. Yeah, James. I love what you're saying. It's really exciting me to go see your movie when you're telling me that if I don't like what you're saying, I can go F myself with the Groover. So this is completely the wrong way to do this stuff. James Gunn has been upfront and constantly sinking it. He's a liar. Everything he says is a lie. He lied about the production value. He lied about production budget. He lied about keeping truth, justice, the American way. And he lies about everything else. So he just keeps talking and talking. And today we got even more stuff. You already saw it before. He said over here, sorry, we'll go with this one first. James Gunn says it's nonsense to think that Superman will flop if it doesn't make $700 million. It doesn't need to be as big of a situation as people are saying. Oh, really? Oh, really? So you've been called out on the lie of your budget. You said, oh, it's only $200 million. No, it's 363, 368, somewhere in that range. We have the tax receipts from Ohio to prove it. And then you've done a $200 million marketing campaign. This movie needs $1 billion to break even. So even if it makes $700 million, which I don't think it's going to do, I think it's going to tap out between 550 and 650. You haven't made money. In fact, if you manage to get $700 million, you've probably lost then $300 million because you didn't break even. So it is a big deal. This is James Gunn running damage control. He is running scared. He knows there is a problem. He knows that among real fans, this hasn't landed. And he knows probably now, he's probably hearing the whispers, or his gophers back at DC Warner Brothers are telling him, uh-oh, the normies, they're not lining up for this. They're not lining up for this at all. They're not coming. They're not going to come around and give us the repeat viewings we need to get to $1 billion or more to make profit. As Dre always says, this movie will not reach the levels of, let's just say, money to justify its existence. And by its existence, I don't just mean a Superman movie. I mean the DC universe, the new DCU. This movie will not justify the existence of DCU because people will have said no. If you only make 650 to 650 max out, even if you only make $700 million, that is a flat rejection. It means people didn't go back and see it. You cross $1 billion when people are seeing your movie over and over and over again, repeat viewings. The kids want to see it again. The family wants to see it again. You want to see it again. This movie is in trouble. And James Gunn's statements like this movie, and it gets better when he says, James Gunn, when asked about superhero fatigue, I think there is such a thing as superhero fatigue. I think it doesn't have anything to do with superheroes. It has to do with the kind of stories that get to be told. And if you lose your eye on the ball, which is the character. Wow. He's not wrong in a sense. There is a thing of superhero fatigue. And if the story sucks, people are going to come back, not going to show up. And it also matters if the person who creates it understands the character. James Gunn doesn't understand Superman. All evidence to this moment, before we all sit down and watch this movie over the next several days, into the coming weeks, all evidence shows us that James Gunn doesn't understand Superman. You can hope and pray that the marketing has just been misleading. You can pretend, you can live in a fantasy world, but I'm here to not walk on eggshells for you and say flat out, this movie has had red flags since moment one. And it is all coming home to roost. It is going to be a disaster. If the rumors are now true, that the relationships in the movie are shallow, that Cornswallow, while putting off a decent performance, his Superman is shallow, Crypto is obnoxious, Lex has no gravitas, a bloated cast of characters that get little to no development, and a narrative storyline that ranges far and wide. This movie was not made for Superman fans. It was made to please James Gunn. Because James Gunn only cares about pleasing James Gunn. He doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about truly finding success. He only cares about James Gunn. And James Gunn wanted to do an ensemble movie around Superman with silly jokes and a CGI dog. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find out soon, super shit-tossing monkeys. James Gunn is running scared. He knows this movie has to make money, which is why he's saying, oh, it doesn't matter if it makes money or not. And he is just, I've seen it. This right here, it's about kindness. It's about immigration. I'm making it political. And if you don't like that, F you. This was the final straw for a lot of people, I think. And you're going to see it. You're going to see the results play out this week, next week, the following week, as this movie makes around $550 to $650 and loses anywhere between $300 to $400 million for DC Studios and the struggling Warner Brothers. Boom, bang, pow. I'm done with this for now. Catch my review later this week for James Gunn's Superman. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.